Time now for the Sports Six-Pack with Andrew Rogers.
You know what time it is. Even though I'm on remote, Shaner and I are here to provide you with the Sports Six-Pack. And where am I? Well, I'm in St. Louis, actually at my brother-in-law's State Farm office. I can see him through the window. He's giving me a big smile right now. But he walked in about 8:30 today, and I'm like, man, my day's wrapping up, and he's just started. So I don't know who I envy more, him because he has to work longer, or me because I had to get up way earlier than he did. So, we'll leave that topic up for debate. But Shane, on the other hand, is at Hale Varsity Club, and that is the best place to enjoy a six-pack. We tell them that all the time, Shaner, don't we? And they need to start drinking with us right now because you've got our questions.
How would you grade Nebraska's recruiting weekend?
Shane, first off, it's great to hear you again, man.
Oh, I'm sure it probably isn't.
No, it is. I promise. I would never make things up.
No.
And I'll never make up a grade either for this question. I would give it an A for sure. For sure. And it's only because who would have thought they would come out of this weekend with 5 big-time names, 3 of them from outside the state, 2 of them in, and you grabbed one of the most versatile athletes in Jalen Lloyd to add to your offense. It's an A. You snag those gems. You get 2 DBs, which one is the best from his state, and you end the weekend with the quarterback you plan to lead this offense in the future. What more could you ask for on the week up to Christmas? Maybe an offensive lineman? Maybe a defensive lineman? I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. If they snag Cornelius by the time Christmas rolls around, you cannot say that Matt Rhule isn't doing everything he can to make this team a bowl game team by next year. I know that's kind of the goal to get there, but how many wins come along with that? And Matt Rhule's setting himself up pretty well and trusting in his abilities, his coaching, knowing his identity, knowing how his coaching staff likes to recruit and vice versa, them being in great communication with one another to put together a team that's competitive and that will compete for a Big Ten championship. I'm not saying that's next year, but hey, if you build this team properly, it could be. We saw Purdue get there this year. 7-4 was their record? Who's to say that can't be Nebraska next year?
Coach he's been doing a pretty good job of seeing all the sites, tweeting it out, and people are digging that and just
his connection, his relationship, man, not only to those players, but to the fans. This fan base is loving it. Great point, Shane.
Is it just the beginning for Justin Fields, or the Bears destroying his career by surrounding him with – that's a great question. We already know the answer to that. Mediocre talent.
Man, well, it is just the beginning for Justin Fields, but I also think the Bears are destroying his career with mediocre talent being settled around him. And for one, the offensive line is atrocious, kind of like another team we saw in state last year. But aside from that, their defense isn't a whole lot better. They have a decent secondary. They kept Jalen Hurts in check for the most part last week, but they're still not a team that you sit back and say they're going to win me a week. And Justin Fields, he's the only guy on that offense that you feel comfortable in any capacity, starting whether it's fantasy or whether it's on your actual NFL team, because everybody else is so inconsistent, but he sees the field so well. The play calling has benefited him so much more from like week 5 on. They finally figured out how to utilize Justin Fields properly. But I'll tell you what, Shaner, this is why I think his career may be getting destroyed sooner rather than later. It's because he takes a lot of shots, and he has a lifespan kind of like a running back at this point. He puts his body in harm's way, and I know it's to get extra yards, and his rushing ability is his best ability. But is he hurting himself by not sliding? I kind of think so. You could, as a quarterback in today's world, you're not supposed to be taking hits. That's why they've gone to extend extra penalties when it comes to preserving the quarterback. So in a way, that's what I think the Bears need to do a better job of coaching Justin Fields on, is not putting your body like that in harm's way so that it's not going to be an 8-and-done year. or an Aiden Dunn career, I should say, for Justin Fields, because he's a phenomenal talent. You can build so much around him. He's so young. Just give it time and you're set. But don't juice him out too early, right? Well, don't just wring out the towel.
With the way offenses are nowadays in the NFL, you don't need to run to get that extra yard or two, even on second down, even on third down, because you can get that on the next down easy enough.
Right, but the Bears do need to do a better job of building around him.
I just wanted to get to my beer. What was your best sports betting win this weekend, Andrew?
Dude, get this story, Shaner. So last night, I'm going to bed, and I had a hockey parlay out, and I missed by one leg. I missed by Matty Beniers. We were watching the Seattle Kraken game late at night, and I went to bed, and he was on the ice for one of the goals, and he was near the play, but he wasn't credited with an assist. So I told my brother, I'm like, man, what a bad beat. And then, we had something else follow in NFL, and I'm like, gosh, dang. And then I got a text from my buddy, and he goes, green? And we say green bean whenever we get the bet, like to hit. Okay. And I'm like, green bean? Like, what hit? Everything missed. And I went back and I said, the only thing that could have hit is the Matty Beniers goal. So I go back to that Kraken game, and they added an assist for Beniers, so we got paid out $197, Shaner.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Question number 4.
All right, what was your baddest beat then?
Well, I kind of alluded to it on Morning Dump today. Or was it coffee and cream? I don't know. They all kind of run together. Regardless, you can catch it over there. But I'll say it one more time. We were watching Sunday Night Football, and we needed a Brian Robinson touchdown. And I say we, my brother and I rode the same bet. And we needed a Brian Robinson touchdown. He gets in, but Terry McLaurin wasn't lined up on the line of scrimmage, so they take that back. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, we need PI in the end zone, because then Brian Robinson will get in for sure. Because I think at this point, the Commanders still had one timeout, and there was like 50 seconds. So they're going to run the ball at least twice, maybe 3 times. They may throw on third down. So you're getting at least 2 run plays, and he would get in. Like, let's be honest. He would get in against that Giants front. No PI called in the end zone, inconsistent officiating, and yet again, the NFL wins. Thank you, National Football League.
They always win, Andrew. They are the biggest winners.
Unbelievable. How about we get some full-time officials, huh?
Question number 5.
What song describes your life right now?
Huh. Song.
Can I give you mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, that's because it's snowing right behind you, right?
Yes.
No, not in St. Louis, though. It's not a Winter Wonderland just yet, but that is supposed to be coming on Thursday, but I hope it stays away. I'm going to say, DP actually introduced this song to me, and I listened to it on the way in today. It's Good Job by Alicia Keys, and I really think it hits home for a lot of people that are, maybe stressed out at work, and of course the holiday times too is a stressful time of year, but Good Job. I recommend people tune into that because it is a great pump up for your life.
I like that.
Question number 6.
Was the World
Missed the burp.
Was the World Cup final the best you've ever watched?
Dude, I think so, but I mean, I got to be honest with you. I don't even remember France's win against Croatia from 4 years ago. Like, I couldn't tell you one thing that happened in that match. But in this one in particular, Mbappe gets a hat trick. Messi, he goes out with a bang, gets his World Cup. I mean, it's a storybook ending, right? It's David and, well, I shouldn't say it's David and Goliath because that's not true. It's 2 Goliaths here, the future Goliath and the current Goliath. And Mbappe is going to be fantastic to watch for France for years to come. He'll win probably two more World Cups.
I don't watch World Cup, but do they, during the game, show like old clips, like, hey, this happened 4 years ago? Do they revisit that at all?
You know what? Sometimes, but not enough. I like where your head's at. I think they should do that more. I've seen it more during like pregame, halftime, and possibly postgame. But for the most part, like when they went to PKs, if there was like a similar situation, like they're like, oh, back, at this time you saw we'll just say the U.S. and Brazil in PKs. But No, they tend to stick to the two teams that are there, and unless they had a previous World Cup that was,
Memorable.
Memorable, yeah. I mean, to be completely honest with you, when I was watching the World Cup, why was I delayed in the first half? Because I watched most of the second half. First half, where was I? I feel like I was doing something. I can't remember for sure. Oh, you know what? I was setting up this radio equipment to make sure we were ready to go for this week. And I'll tell you what, man, I got back and it was 2-0 Argentina. And I don't know if they showed any Messi clips from years before. So that's what I was going to say. I don't want to pretend like I was watching that portion of it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that's something that they should do more of because
show the rivalry. Show the rivalry.
The historical fact of that. And it's not even just the rivalry, but just since it happens every 4 years, remind us, right?
Right.
Remind us what had taken place in years past.
Feeling tipsy yet? Catch more of Andrew Rogers from 7 to 9 in the morning on Hail Varsity Radio. A Hurrdat Sports Network production.